If you are on Social Security and you never received your full stimulus payment from 2021, listen up because the IRS just announced that new payments are going out starting March 5th, and you could be owed up to $100 to $400. This is not a rumor. This is not clickbait. This is confirmed directly from the IRS, and it could mean real money hitting your bank account very soon. Before I break everything down for you, if you are not subscribed to this channel yet, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. We cover Social Security news and updates every single week, and you do not want to miss important information like this that could put money in your pocket. Now let me explain exactly what is happening and what you need to know. Here is the situation. When the third round of stimulus payments went out back in 2021 under the American Rescue Plan, millions of Americans were supposed to receive $1,400 per person, but something went wrong for a lot of people. Maybe there was a glitch in the system, maybe their information was not updated with the IRS, maybe they did not file a tax return that year, or maybe they simply did not know they qualified for the payment. Whatever the reason, the IRS has now gone back through their records and identified a large group of Americans who were eligible for that stimulus money but never actually received it. And now the IRS is making it right by sending out those payments automatically. This is especially important for Social Security recipients because many of you fall into this category. A lot of seniors and disabled individuals who receive Social Security benefits did not file tax returns because they were not required to. Their only income was their Social Security check, so they figured they did not need to file. The problem is that by not filing, some of you missed out on claiming the recovery rebate credit, which was the official way to get any stimulus money you were owed but did not receive. The IRS knows this happened to a lot of people, and that is why they are now sending out these automatic payments to people they have identified as being missed. Let me talk about the timeline because I know that is what everyone wants to know. The IRS has confirmed that payments will start going out on March 5th and will continue to be sent in batches over the following weeks. Not everyone is going to receive their money on the same day. If you have direct deposit set up with the IRS, meaning they have your bank account information on file from a previous tax return or from your Social Security benefit information, you will likely be among the first to receive your payment. Direct deposit is always faster, and most people receiving electronic payments should see the money in their accounts within a few days of that March 5th start date. If you are someone who receives paper checks, whether for your Social Security benefits or for tax refunds, it is going to take a little longer. Paper checks have to be printed, processed, and mailed, and then you have to wait for the Postal Service to deliver it. So if you are expecting a paper check, you might be looking at a few weeks after March 5th before it arrives. But either way, the money is coming. Now, let me answer the big question everyone is asking. How much money are we actually talking about here? The IRS has confirmed that payments could be up to $1,400 per person. This is the same amount as the original third stimulus payment that went out in 2021. So if you were supposed to get that $1,400 and you never received it, that is exactly what you are going to be getting now. And remember, this is per person. If you are married and filing jointly and both you and your spouse were missed, you could be looking at $2,800. If you have qualifying dependents who were also missed, you could be getting an additional $1,400 for each of them as well. For a family, this could add up to a very significant amount of money. Now, I want to be clear that not everyone will receive the full $1,400. Some people might get a partial payment depending on their income level and their specific situation. But the maximum amount is $1,400 per eligible individual, and that comes straight from the IRS. Let me break down the eligibility requirements because this is really the most important part. The main group of people who will be receiving these payments are individuals who were eligible for the third economic impact payment but who did not claim it. The way you were supposed to claim it, if you did not get it automatically, was by filing a tax return and claiming the recovery rebate credit. This was a special line on the tax return that allowed you to get any stimulus money you were owed but did not receive. The problem is that many people either did not file a tax return at all or they did file but they left that line blank or put 0 on it even though they actually qualified. The IRS can see in their records that these people should have received the payment but never did. So instead of letting that money sit there unclaimed, the IRS decided to send it out automatically. That means if you are one of these people, you do not have to do anything. You do not have to file an amended return. You do not have to call the IRS. You do not have to fill out any special forms. The IRS will send you the money automatically based on the information they already have on file. Now let me explain the income requirements because this is where some people get confused. For the third round of stimulus payments, the income limits were as follows. If you were a single filer, you needed to have an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less to get the full payment. If you were head of household, your adjusted gross income needed to be $112,500 or less. And if you were married filing jointly, your combined adjusted gross income needed to be $150,000 or less. If your income was above those amounts, you could still get a partial payment, but it would be reduced. The payments phased out completely for single filers at $80,000, for head of household filers at $120,000, and for married couples filing jointly at $160,000. If your income was above those upper limits, you would not be eligible for any payment. The IRS is looking at your most recent tax return on file, which for most people would be either your 2020 or 2021 return. Here is something very important for Social Security recipients specifically. Even if you were not required to file a tax return because your only income was Social Security benefits, you might still be eligible for this payment. The IRS has been using other data sources besides just tax returns to identify eligible individuals. If you receive Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security disability benefits, supplemental security income, or railroad retirement benefits, the IRS may already have enough information to send you a payment even without a tax return on file. This is good news for many seniors and disabled individuals who do not typically file taxes. However, and this is important, if you are someone who has not filed a tax return and you are not receiving any of those government benefits, then the IRS might not know about you. In that case, you would need to file a tax return, even a late one, to claim the recovery rebate credit and get your payment. The deadline to file your 2021 tax return and claim this credit is April 15th, 2025. After that date, you may lose your chance to get this money forever. So if you think you might be eligible but you have not filed, please do not wait. This is money you are entitled to, and it would be a shame to miss out just because you did not file in time. Let me address some common concerns that Social Security recipients often have about stimulus payments. First, are these payments taxable? The answer is no. Stimulus payments are not considered taxable income. You do not have to pay federal income tax on them, and you do not have to report them as income on your tax return. If you get a $1,400 payment, that is $1,400 that is yours to keep free and clear. Another big concern for Social Security recipients is whether these payments will affect other benefits. If you are receiving supplemental security income, SNAP benefits, Medicaid, or housing assistance, will getting a stimulus payment mess that up? The good news is that generally no, it will not. Stimulus payments are not counted as income for determining eligibility for federal benefit programs. They are also not counted as a resource for at least 12 months after you receive them. So if you get a stimulus payment and put it in your bank account, it will not count against you for programs like SSI or SNAP for at least a year. This protection was specifically built into the stimulus payment rules to make sure that people who rely on these programs would not be penalized for receiving the extra help. Once payments start going out, you can check the status of your payment using the IRS Get My Payment tool on the IRS website at irs.gov. This tool allows you to see whether your payment has been sent, whether it is coming by direct deposit or mail, and when you should expect to receive it. You will need to enter your Social Security number, date of birth, street address, and zip code. If your payment has been processed, the tool will show you all the details. If it has not been processed yet, the tool might say your payment status is not available, which just means you need to check back later. I also need to warn everyone about scams because whenever the IRS announces payments, the scammers come out in full force. You might get phone calls, emails, or text messages from people claiming to be from the IRS saying you need to provide personal information or pay a fee to receive your stimulus payment. Let me be absolutely clear about this. The IRS will never call you and ask for your Social Security number, bank account information, or credit card number over the phone. The IRS will never send you an email or text message asking you to click a link and enter personal information. The IRS will never ask you to pay a fee or buy gift cards to receive your stimulus payment. If anyone contacts you asking for these things, it is a scam. Hang up the phone, delete the email, and do not respond. Protecting your personal information is critical, especially right now. If you have moved or changed your bank account since the last time you filed a tax return, your payment could be delayed or sent to the wrong place. If you have a new address, you should file a change of address form with the IRS. The form is called Form 8822, and you can download it from the IRS website. As for your bank account, if your direct deposit information has changed, your payment might go to your old account. If that happens, the bank will usually reject it and send it back to the IRS, and then the IRS will mail you a paper check. It takes longer, but you should still eventually get your money. This whole situation is actually a great reminder of why it is so important to file your taxes every year, even if you do not think you owe anything or your income is very low. Filing a tax return is how the government knows you exist and how they can send you money when programs like this come along. If you had filed your return and claimed the recovery rebate credit when you were supposed to, you would have gotten this money years ago. There are free options available for people with lower incomes, including the IRS Free File program and volunteer income tax assistance locations across the country. So to summarize everything, the IRS is sending out stimulus payments starting March 5th to people who were eligible for the third round of stimulus checks but never received them. The maximum payment is $1,400 per person. Social Security recipients are definitely eligible if they meet the income requirements. If the IRS has your information, payments will be sent automatically. These payments are not taxable and will not affect your other government benefits. You can track your payment status on the IRS website. And please watch out for scams. If you found this information helpful, make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you never miss important Social Security and benefits updates. Share this video with friends and family members who might be eligible, because a lot of people do not even know they have money coming to them. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next update. Take care, everyone.